Hello, this is how to cut Senator Yes. So this is me dividing the bust into four. So after you divide your bust divided by four, and you measure it out. After you measure it out like this that I'm doing, and you add your sewing allowance 1 inch, you add your seam allowance 1 inch, then you add an extra 1 inch in case of the down parts, so that when you want to fold the down parts, you'll be able to cut it out. Some people like to fold it tiny, but the tiny is not giving out the beauty. So after this, you have to leave 2 inches for folding allowance, and you measure your exact length that you want. If it's 30 that you want as your exact length, you measure it out. So some people, they will just measure their length like that without adding folding allowance. Then at the end of the day, you see that the cloth is short. So now you add your folding allowance of 2 inch, and you measure your exact length, and you cut out the fabric. That's the front pattern. Then here is the back pattern. One secret about this back pattern is that when you fold it into two, when you measure your back pattern, there's the same measurement that you use at the front. So when you do it like that, you have to iron it, because the reason why you have to iron it is let it straight. Even when you are sewing and there's no light, it will bring out the beauty of the cloth before you give it out the best finishing. So I've already do a tutorial on how to do piping of neck, so you can use the method in piping your neck here. So here you just have to add extra 4 inches, because the back usually be longer than the front, so that you have that back lay and the cloth is going to relax very well on the shoulder. So after you add your 4 inches, and you cut it out. So that's the front and the back. So when you get to this level, you take the tool, you slant your shoulder. I slant my shoulder, I measure 2 inches before I slant my own shoulder, so that it will give you the perfect layout. This is how I slant my own shoulder. So in this way, there won't be any maybe shoulder squeezing or stuff like that. It will make it relax. Then you drag it down, so that for the 4 inches to do its own work. So at least the work of the 4 inches is just to make sure that the cloth, the shoulder of the cloth, lap on your own shoulder, so that it won't cause any squeezing or any tangle of shoulder like that. So after that, the best way to cut cloth is iron while cutting. So here my back is 20. So what I do here, I measure my 20, then I add 1 inches to the 20, so that I will not touch the 20 even though I want to trim the armhole. I measure my armhole shorter, so that in case when I need it, I will have to trim it. Then here I curve my hand inside a little bit, so that the front that I curve inside is just to avoid the squeezing on the chest. You know why the shoulder do his work? The bust to have to be, the shoulder to have to like trim out the excess of it. When you trim out the excess of it, then it will give you a perfect outcome of your cloth. Here, measure your bust, then add 1 inches, that's the allowance. Then add extra 1 inches, that's for the weaving allowance. So then you cut out the excess. The reason why I said you should add extra 1 inches is because of the down folding, if you want to fold the side. So here I cut out my shoulder, I cut out my armhole, and don't forget that the back armhole is not the same thing as the front armhole, so that the back will not be tight. Just leave small allowance for the back, so that the front will be deeper than the back, little bit, just little bit, as you can see here. So just to avoid the squeeze on the shoulder and the chest, that was it. Here I'm measuring my neck. I'll do a tutorial on how to get your accurate neck without folding, or without it making maybe bigger or not lapping very well. I'll post that on my next video. So here you cut out your neck. After you cut out your neck, then you make sure that you cut out the back neck too. So let it give it the perfect neck that you want. Even though you pipe it finish, it will come out perfectly. So that's how I cut out. Then you cut out where you want your flap to get to.